This episode is sponsored by 1 Minute Calm. Breathe, live, and love the moment that you're in. Health, wealth, and happiness. Thank you for joining me today. And today in Finding My Happiness, here we are. Hi, I'm Christina, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Health, Wealth, and Happiness, Interviews to Inspire. Our next guest is an inspiring story of self-care, cultural celebration, and the pursuit of joy. She was a career nurse working 16-hour shifts and every other weekend. This was demanding and exhausting. While also caring for her father and daughter, she became inspired by her daughter to create a natural self-care product. Hailing from Ethiopia, she cherishes her cultural heritage, recognizing its priceless traditions. With her infectious positivity and warmth, she spreads joy wherever she goes, uplifting those around her. We welcome our next joyful guest, Tsighe. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
My name is Tsighe Retta. I am the CEO and the founder of Ida Handmade Soap and a skincare line here in Maryland, Silver Spring. I came to United States to follow my dream in 2001. Since then, I was able to join the nursing field and I took a class in Montgomery College. Since then, I was able to work a lot of nursing facility in here in Maryland. Since then, my experience of 12 years was driven for helping my patients and my community by keeping them in a healthier lifestyle. Therefore, I was able to create this handmade soap and skincare products for every community possible.
Tsighe's health word is natural skincare. Tell us a little bit more about how you got into natural skincare. I know you have some inspirations.
Right. I'm sure those 12 years I had it with a different experience. One of those things where all the service was given for each service with the patients were given by mostly trying to keep the hygiene with ourselves by washing our hands and trying to sanitize as often as possible. So after all that, when I was coming back to the house, I can see my hands, they were not really, they were affecting me because of all those harsh chemical liquids and all the chemical on sanitizers. My daughter, by then, she was like 3, 4. She was also always trying to feel bad for me, how my hands were changing according to her. So this was the initial trick that I was driven to kind of incorporate some natural ingredients at home with the small bottles for me to carry on. Later on, my colleagues were joining me with the same natural products. Then the question keep coming and growing, and everybody all of a sudden wants to try all these products that I was trying to have for myself, but I end up giving it out to many with my coworkers and in the community too. That's how the trick started with my healthy procedure on products.
And the name of your company is also after your daughter, is it not? She's been an influence.
Yeah, I gave the name Ida. It's like you said, it's after my daughter. Now she's 13. She's also involved on this journey with me with some task behind the scene. I really find it very important time together and sharing ideas. This is the age that they really miss their mom, and we want to be productive while we are sharing our time with love and care.
In this journey that you've created, when you're starting your first steps and trying to get people interested, because there's a little bit of nerves when you have something, it's like, I'd like you to try this. What kind of things have you done to inspire people and tell them about how you were inspired to create your project?
A lot of times I used to ask them, would I knew the answer anyways because I was doing the same thing. Most of us, we do run in the same stores to grab our sanitizer, hygiene products like Costco, Target, Giant, whoever it's closer to us, we just kind of rush and bring all those hygiene for our family, for ourselves, but we never noticed that all those products were totally not close to natural ingredients. So that means we were somehow some in indirect way harming ourselves without noticing what we were doing to ourselves. So I start giving a little bit of explanation whenever I ask, would you buy your products? And most of the answers were the same store that I used to go, but I stopped long since when I find out that all those products had a lot of harsh chemical, having all the skin issues. I keep hearing a lot of people suffering with dry skin, eczema, and all that. So that was a perfect way to kind of give more information to the community and try to teach. It's a lot of work to be done. I'm not saying I've done a lot, but I'm also teaching my every bring it up to more natural way for them to accept it. And that's when they're driven. Oh, I never knew this. We know, but we never had time to reflect. It just became a routine to run to the same store, grab the same product, and affecting the family in the house. So this is where the question could come, can I try your product? How is it your product into? And then I will show them all the ingredient on the label. It's already written. And also I'll give them more detailed description about the products, what it's in there, the plant-based, no chemical, no animal products, no, all the details. Then they get comfortable. At least I'll let them try for free. The worst comes because the message that I'm trying to give with my products is try to stay healthy and natural, especially when you have kids, toddlers, and all that.
So when you're learning to source your products, what kind of challenges, what kind of things did you learn when you started to source your ingredients?
In this project, my dad, who I'm really grateful, he has been a very supportive person in this project. He had all this back experience, how to source things, where to source them, how much to source them, which one is qualified. He was really my backbone. I have to give him that credit. It took us a while when we were doing all the research, almost 5 to 6, 7 years. It was only research, where to find product, what product to use, which one is good, which one is reasonable in price, and all that. So to be in the safe side, I choose to source all the ingredients from all the FDA approved companies here locally. So I choose to do that to just reassure my community to be sure I'm using the uh, sourced locally and approved by FDA.
Yeah, that sounds like a huge job.
Yes, that's why my dad was into it because this would have been a little bit challenging for me just to go through every detail. It was amazing and very experienced with that.
So what kind of advice do you have for somebody who has to go through that kind of research? What would you tell someone who's thinking, I'd like to start a product. Where do I begin?
Definitely finding the same community purpose, meaning where we share, among us, there are some who does only candle, they share their experience, only soap, they share their experience. It really did help me to go into those type of groups, either by reading, either shooting them a question that it was not clear, I get the feedback on. They never some of them, they never saw me, or we never had any conversation, but in here I noticed there is a huge help of information if you are going to look for it. They're not going to come where you're sitting. You just have to dig and do your own diligence and non-stop. Sometimes you can give up, but if you have a goal and purpose, you just have to go and dig them. But we are also here to share our experiences with that.
From the time that you started thinking about this for your research to actually starting to do your trial products to actually giving them to where you're now a business, what kind of timeline is that?
Yeah, that's a very crucial question because when I was in the last few years of my nursing, where my schedule was very, very, very tight, as you said, it was 16 hours every other weekend. I was most of the time away, and it didn't allow me to do all this flexibility on doing what I wanted to do with the research, with the classes, with the updates, and all that. But when I start having this time for caring for my family, that's when I really put myself into a full time, day and night. There were nights that I sit and dig informations. But at that moment, I was not timing, oh, I should be done by this time. Like I was taking my time just to make sure I don't want to run to no error, no question answered, no this. So this is why it took me 5 to 6 years before I start launching it in 2003. That's when I had all the paperwork done, all the questions answered, all the confidence by knowing my product, I should be able to share it. So to answer your question, it almost take me like 5 to 6 years behind the scene with everything.
Did you have to go through an FDA approval also?
At this moment, there are stages that they are required to have FDA approved. You need to manufacture a certain number up for you to ask FDA approval. So that's the goal. We want to manufacture a lot in order to go through certain certifications. If they are below that number, you're not required, except you should have insurance covering it, which we do have that.
Wow, this sounds like not for the weak.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But it's fun, once you are into it, you really don't feel like you're working. I know it takes so much time during the day, it takes your mind away and all that, but it's fun. This is why it's a kind of family type of thing. My daughter is on it, my dad is on it. We share ideas, we do share our informations and stuff, and you don't feel like there is a heavy, it's not work, like fun work.
It's the best kind.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So now that this is a product that you have out there for clients, how do you use it in your daily life?
Oh my goodness. Before we start even taking it out to sell, we have been using it for the last 2 years consecutively. Every one of us, we do use like for shampoo, we don't use anymore the shampoo liquid. We use the rice soap, which is really beneficial. So my daughter, she's after it. So every production, I kind of have to hide things around because I wanted people, other community to experience what I have. So I turn around and always there is a short of number because it's on the shelf that we bring into the house too for us as a sample and stuff. So yeah, it has been really beneficial. And also having the heritage, Ethiopian heritage, the culture, it really taught me a big plus in this skincare line. By using all these herbal things, we all know that a lot of herbals are health-wise, lifestyle, rejuvenating, and all that, which that's great. What else can we ask from nature, right?
You have my heart on this word for your wealth word, inheriting culture. Tell us more about this.
As an entrepreneur and as a mom and a head of a household with my Ethiopian background, wealth could be defined by words only, like heritage, community, and culture. It encompasses not to just financially prosperity, but also to the richness of your family, life, culture, heritage. and the impact that make through your lifestyle. Meaning coming from Ethiopian background, it's where there is a love and care and looking one another and sharing and all that. It really stayed in me. What right now, what I'm trying to do is pass it on to my daughter by staying together, sharing, caring, and all that. When we're doing our product, is just out of love and care. So this is why I said heritage, Ethiopian heritage specifically, just because I came from Ethiopia. I'm sure every culture has their own caring and sharing things.
One of the cultural things, the coffee, the afternoon coffee.
Sure, everybody, most of people I observed that they did experience the traditional food, which is called injera, always asking me, where do you go to have this beautiful meal? We know about the injera, we know about this hot sauce, and I'm so excited to see people trying different, different tribe food, different culture, share, putting it in their lifestyle. It makes you a little bit, the generation is really trying to see the other part. About the coffee, oh boy, that one, it's traditionally, we don't drink it like here, rushing, having a glass of coffee and you rush to sip it. That's not the way. That doesn't happen. Traditionally, it's a really relaxing and enjoyable moment where you sit with few people, whoever is around you, and it's made you sit in a different position, uh, where traditionally we roast the coffee, we let you smell the roasting, which is breathtaking. It really takes you calm down. And then there is some traditional incense with it, which you sit and then you smell all this different smell. It makes you really relaxing, naturally relaxing. They haven't done nothing. They don't give you no massage, but it feels like something lifts you up. It puts you down. And then that's the way they prepare a couple of snacks, different snacks for you to munch in. And then this is the way our grandma, our generation back home, they used to sit and they start having all this conversation about private conversation. Let's say when we were a child, we sneak in and look at them and say, oh, they're doing the coffee. That means they're gossiping, because that's what we used to think, but that was not the real thing. It's just a way to embrace themselves or connect with them. It's like, it feels like it's Thanksgiving type of vibe where there is a food, but it's only for coffee, but you sit for almost 45 minutes or plus, but you really enjoy it. And I do invite everyone to experience that, especially with the coffee. And because of that, I end up, like I said earlier, I use some of on my products, some of the imported herbal spices in on my products. For example, I do roast the coffee, and it's imported from Ethiopia. I grind them, and with some kind of magical formula, I put them in a soap bars, which is also used in a scrubs in a different method. So it really worked, and a lot of people like the smell of the coffee on the soap. They think it looks like a cake or a marble cake type of thing, but it's a soap. That's how we do use all the rest, the rosemary on our soaps, the black seeds, the chai, you name it, the matcha. We try to make it as natural as possible.
So you've been here how many years now?
Oh boy, since 2001. Time flies. I lose count. I lost count. Now home is here. So even though I try to travel once a year, a couple of times a year, at home, it has been here since then.
Are there things that you do that are still traditional from your culture that you brought with you?
This is the a kind of question that my daughter will laugh if she will hear this answer from me. We do celebrate two Christmases, two Easters, two New Years, two, because we still, this is why I said I really want her also others to involve their younger ones, their children, to know about the culture and heritage by using all this time. Easter now, we are about after 10 days, that's when the Ethiopian Easter is, but we did celebrate the last week our Easter too, right? So we do two versions in the household. Yes, two Christmases, two New Year's, and two the Ethiopian cultural type of thing. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. How is it different? I'm sure the viewers would love to hear this.
Yes, Ethiopian has two different calendars. Right now, I always tease by saying if you go to Ethiopia, you become 7 years younger. Why? Because they have 7 years backwards. Right now, we are 2024, so you need to put -7, so you get that younger behind. Because they use a Gregorian calendar, it's totally different. Culturally, it's the religion. It has a big impact on the culture. The Orthodox Tewahedo Church. This is why our Christmases are different. New Year, it's September 11. Here is January 1st. So look at the months, and there are a little bit of differences, but we try to celebrate it with the community so then our fellow younger ones can see and know what it means. We do fast for 55 days for this Easter. So right as if now we are fasting, that means no dairy, no gossiping, no lying, no cheating, no this, no that. Every rule applies. So this is why we teach our younger ones about it, and we do celebrate it in a very big moment culturally.
Every country, every culture has such a wealth of tradition. Have you been able to find a community here as well?
Oh yes, there are a lot in every state. I feel like every state has a little bit of Ethiopian community. DC has the majority one, but even Maryland, this is because of church-wise, there are a lot of Ethiopian churches, and whoever is close by, there is a big community. There are Ethiopian community centers. You name it, there are. The problem is the time. But we try to make the time somehow, somewhere. If we miss one, we get to the other one. Yeah.
As you're raising your daughter here in the States, what things, what advice, what traditions, what would you like for her to know about your culture and to carry on in her life?
I try as much as possible for her to embrace both sides. Why? Because down to the line in her lifetime, what I mean for my daughter, that it means for every children around here, whoever never traveled, I really suggest them to travel overseas so that they can explore they can see what they could be grateful for and not be grateful. If you do not show them, they won't know the difference. For example, we do not wait for Thanksgiving to get together with the family. I have noticed in my nursing field time, with all those patients, I've seen a lot of touchy parts. Like there are holidays that they are forced not to see their family because their family, they didn't even felt that was very important to see their parents or share the time. They just wait once a year or once in Christmas or once New Year. That's not enough. It shouldn't be that way. I feel like, especially our kids, we should teach them which one is the better way. Go see your parents once a year or have them frequently around you and smile with them and eat with them and share with them and, all the happiness together. And I understand it's the lifestyle, but also in Ethiopia, the lifestyle changed, but they always, always put time to spend together, at least for the coffee time. time.
Hello, I'm Sylvia. Sylvia Torstein. Health, wealth, and happiness. Wealth. Spa days. When you can treat yourself to the beauty of spa days. They give you these nice robes to wear. I'm still dressed underneath, just to let you know. The facials, the massage, the mani-pedi if you want, the music that's piped in that's it makes me fall asleep, which I get some great sleep, and even the pool, when you get to use the pool. Oh, that's wealth. That is just dipping your feet into a pool of gold. I'm just telling you. Oh, treat yourself. Treat yourself well. I'm Sylvia.
Tsige's happiness is joy. Please share about your happiness and joy.
Happiness is something to fulfilled from your achievement, from your relationship, or from any connection to your heritage. It's feeling of joy and satisfaction that comes from living authentically and with your own values, who you are. The thing is, balancing it is the hardest part, especially in a country like this. We are working hard. We don't get time for every detail, but I feel like balancing it should be some kind of boundary between work and personal life, and finding ways to integrate your culture heritage to your daily life routine. It's about recognizing and honoring all the aspects of identity and finding harmony between them and your family. That's how I can say about happiness.
You are into this new venture, and you do have to balance the joy of this, so to speak, new baby, as well as your family. And I think you found some ways to do that, from that grind that you were in before to doing something that you're enjoying now.
It's not easy as I say it right now, because I'm going through that daily basis. Of course, I want to start happy my day. Of course, I want to have a nice, happy time with my family before I leave work, before my daughter goes to school, or we all do our errands. It's about finding that moment of joy and appreciation in your daily time. Even though there are challenges, you need to find it. You just need to keep reminding yourself, let me start this way. That's what I do with my daughter every morning before I drop her, or before when she's up on the bed. Try to be happy. It's another day. Just, put something nice on you and feel that's how you should start happy. No matter what it was behind you. I know it's really pulling us up, but it's a mindset. Depending on your expression, on your culture, identity, your happiness, it's in you. It's not like something you have to create. It should be in you. It has just to come out. That's what I tell my daughter. It has to come out showing. No matter if you're hungry, just smile, happy. Just say, ask. You're hungry, you're gonna grab something. Make it as with spontaneous things from you out. That's how I think. Prioritize yourself and self-care and well-being and all that. It's a happiness. Well, there is nothing more than that. If you're healthy, you're happy. If you don't have anything, you're still happy.
When you find yourself stressed out because of all of the things that you have to do every day, is there something that you do for yourself?
Oh, wow. I do a couple of things. When I do this business in me, this is how it takes my stress away. Like, I put nice music, and then I'm focusing on doing something good, helping how many people could be benefiting on what I'm making. So I'm really into it with some nice music type of thing. Or I go swimming, bike spinning, and the walking, it takes my breath away. Or I do the Ethiopian culture of coffee for myself. We're supposed to do it with a lot of people, but I choose to do it with myself. With the roasting, I smell it. With the instant, I smell it, and it keeps me, brings me back to where I should be. Of course, stress is going to be there. It's the lifestyle, but we need to work on it. That's the only way.
If you could give the gift of health, wealth, or happiness, which gift would you give and why?
Wow. Well, from wealth and health are very important things, but I would give happiness. Why happiness? Happiness can positively impact every aspect of life, from health to relationship to success. It's a gift that keeps on giving, as happy individuals are more likely to lead healthier and wealthier lives. Ultimately, happiness is a state of being that can enhance and enrich every other aspect of life.
We have a question from our previous guest.
Is how do you see yourself contributing to the economy, to your business, and to your well-being?
For you to do well, if we do well, that means we're gonna really contribute a big impact on the economy. And I surely believe that, since what I have been through and what I've saw in few months is, that's what is expected from me, from other small businesses like me. So I feel like down to the road, we can do this if we stick together and we really ask for help or any support around us. It's really durable. And of course, we do have one another. So I feel like the economy will be boosting really good if we all stick together and move forward. My contribution on how to well-being is, we plan to really work widely, not by myself, but I will have a lot of support with this. Really trying to influence anyone, men, women, children, adults, how to stay really focused on the well-being. My side will be naturally, how would you put yourself in the right position for a longer life, for healthy lifestyle. So I'll be working with juniors. I'm gonna start with my daughter age and going up. And of course, it's a lot of work. And of course, I won't be able to do it by myself. I'll have really full energy people behind me to pass this message, how to naturally well-being lifestyle.
Wonderful. Do you do out of the area, out of the Washington, D.C. area?
Oh, you mean Virginia, DC, and Maryland?
So far.
Yeah, so far. But we're working on it. It's work in progress.
See, I want to thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. You have been an amazing guest, and I hope we get to see you again in the future.
It is my pleasure.